So before we begin, we'll just make prostrations to the Sayadaw, and then I'll make the introductions. So this is our 6th day of the ceremony and our 5th Dhamma talk. And we're very fortunate to have with us Sayadaw Ujjavana and also Hitadara Sayadaw. Hitadara Sayadaw is not going to teach this evening. He's just here to observe. But our old supporter, Sayadaw Ujjavana, will give a talk. Sayadaw studied Buddhism at Masoyen and taught there many monks for many years. And then he came to India and studied philosophy at Magadh University, where he was awarded an MA and a PhD. He teaches international students in Pali and Abhidhamma in Bodh Gaya. And now he teaches 250 students English and Buddhist subjects at Tantitown Monastery in Mandalay. And as I said, Sayadaw has been coming to our chanting ceremony since it began and has been a great supporter of this event. So we are very, very happy that he's here with us tonight. And I don't know what Sayadaw is going to talk about, but it will be wise reflections for certain. And we're in for a wonderful evening. So with that, I'd like to hand over to Sayadaw, and we'll take it from there. Thank you so much, Bante.
Okay, so Hitadara Sayadaw, he will introduce about tomorrow. So he will not teach Dhamma today, that he will give the talk for tomorrow. So that's why but he will explain something for tomorrow.
Hello, Namo Tata Donji, Piyashiko Bira Saya Ano. Namo Tata Bhagavato Arahato Dhamma Sambuddhassa. Namo Tata Bhagavato Arahato Dhamma Sambuddhassa. Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Dhamma Sambuddhassa. Di chain di ma di neya ma bo amadan thu myat de neya loka dhatu I anai me Jesu shin phit tormu de thong loka thotha Tabbe nyu Phaya Shin Koro Myat Ji Phaya aphit phit mwe phwa khae de di neya ma khulo Kaba Yayaka Tarataya Ne Pisong Jare Tudoseni Supang Piro Dhamma Daya Reko Yusu Puzo Jare Laina Chintong Jare Pyan We Pe Jare Po Iketo Pyulok Nire Myingwen Neko Minya Jaya Tiya Ti Atwet Jaw Phongphong Ha Di Takayi Di Along Ko Athu Phin Jesu Tinpare Wan Myak Wan Da Phit Dhatu Khaw Pare A Jaung Ko Pyo Lo Pare No.
Today is a very auspicious day because the International Tipitaka Chanting celebrated where the Buddha attained enlightenment. That's why the people from all over the world can listen and learn from the Dhamma. So it's a very beneficial for all the world by celebrating Tipitaka chanting.
အခုဒီပွဲကြီးမှာပထမဆုံးအနေနဲ့ပေါ့ဘုံဘုံကမိတ်ဆက်ချင်းခံကန်တာတော့သိမပြောလို့တော့ပါဘူးမနေ့ဖြန်ကအတွက်ဘုံဘုံအလုံးကိုတင်ပြပေးမယ်ဓမ္မအကြောင်းလေးကတော့စိတ်ပေါ့စိတ်ရဲ့အကြောင်းလေးတွေအရေးကြီးတဲ့စိတ်လေးတွေရဲ့အကြောင်းအဲ့ဒါကိုပြောပြချင်ပါတယ်ဒီနေ့လည်းပဲပြောပြမယ်အနေငယ်မနေ့ဖြန်ကဆိုရင်အကျက်တဝင့်ပြောပြပေးသွားမှာဖြစ်ပါတယ်နော်
So today Saro will not given the talk in detail. So for tomorrow he will give the explanation of the mind, so in detail. So you please join for tomorrow to listening to his Dhamma regarding with the mind.
ဖယားရှင်ကိုရောမြတ်ကြီးဖယားဖြစ်လာတာဒီစိတ်ကြောင့်ပါပဲမိုင်းပေါ့စိတ်ကြောင့်ဖယားရှင်ကိုရောမြတ်ကြီးရဲ့စိတ်အကြံတော်ကဘယ်လိုဖြစ်လာတာတုံးဆိုတော့ဗုဒ္ဓဘောဓိယံဗုဒ္ဓသစ္စာလေးပါအမှန်တရားတွေကိုငါကိုယ်တိုင်သိအောင်လုပ်မယ်ဒါကမိမိအတွက်ပေါ့ဘောဓိယံငါသိတယ်လို့အာလုံးကိုသိစေရမယ်ဒီစိတ်ဗုဒ္ဓကိုတယောက်တည်းအတွက်ဆိုလို့ရှိရင်တပ္ပညုဖယားမဖြစ်နိုင်ဘူးဗုဒ္ဓပစ္စေကဗုဒ္ဓအရဟန္တပေါ့ဒီလောက်ပဲဖြစ်နိုင်တယ်အဲ့တော့ဘုရားရှင်ရဲ့အတွေ့လေးကဘောဓိယံငါသိတယ်လို့အာလုံးကိုသိစေရမယ်မဟုတ်တော့ကိလေသာအနောင်ဖွဲ့မှငါလွတ်မြောက်အောင်ကြိုးစားမယ်မောစီယံငါလွတ်မြောက်ပြီးတယ်လို့တရဝအားလုံးကိုလည်းလွတ်မြောက်စေရမယ်တိန်တော်အမတန်ရှုပ်ထွေးလာတဲ့အမတန်ပူလောင်လှတဲ့ဒီတန်တရာဝဲဩဃကြီးတဲ့မှာငါကိုယ်တိုင်လွတ်မြောက်အောင်လုပ်မယ်ဒါရီယံငါလွတ်မြောက်ပြီးတယ်လို့ဒီတရဝအားလုံးကိုလည်းလွတ်မြောက်စေရမယ်အဲ့အတွေ့လေးကအဲ့စိတ်ဓာတ်ကဖယားအဖြစ်ဖြစ်သူရောက်စေတာဖြစ်ပါတယ်ဒါမှမဟုတ်ကြောင့်စိတ်ကအမတန်အရေးကြီးပါတယ်
The Buddha attained enlightenment because of the mind. So he decided, Buddha said, Buddha Bodhiyant, Muddha Mosiyant, and Teno Daryan. First, the Buddha decided he has to attain the enlightenment for himself. Then he decided, I must help others to be free from all kinds of suffering. Then the second, he decided, I must be free from all kinds of defilement. Then I must help others to be free from all kinds of defilement and all kinds of suffering. Then the last, he decided, I must overcome those oceans of defilement. Then I must have the other to overcome those defilement of ocean. So, because of this mind, the Buddha attained enlightenment under this body treat.
အဲ့တော့ဘုံဘုံတို့အလုံးသောတရဝတွေကဘုရားရှင်ကိုရောမြတ်ကြီးရဲ့ဒီဖ ဖရာဖြစ်ဖြစ်တို့ရောက်သွားတယ်ဆိုတာကမိုင်းပေါ့စိတ်ဓာတ်တွေပြောင်းလဲသွားတာဖြစ်တယ်ဒီဝိညာဉ်နဲ့ခန္ဓာဆိုတဲ့စိတ်ကပြောင်းလဲသွားတာရူပခန္ဓာကတော့ဒီတိုင်းပါပဲအဲ့တော့ဘုရားရှင်ကိုတော်မြတ်ကြီးဖရာဖြစ်သွားတယ်ဖရာဖြစ်သွားတယ်အမြင့်မြတ်ဆုံးသို့ရောက်သွားတယ်ဆိုတာကစိတ်ဓာတ်ကိုပြောင်းလဲပြလိုက်တာဒါမှမဟုတ်ကြောင့်ဒီနေ့တရားအားထုတ်နေတဲ့ယောဂီတွေကလည်းပဲတရားအားထုတ်တယ်ဆိုတာကိုယ့်ရဲ့စိတ်မိုင်းပေါ့စိတ်ဓာတ်စွမ်းအားနေနေတဲ့မိမိတို့ရဲ့စိတ်ကိုစိတ်ဓာတ်ပါဝါတွေမြင့်လာအောင်ပေါ့နော်အဲ့တော့စိတ်ဓာတ်ပါဝါတွေဘာကြောင့်ကြတာလဲဆိုကိလေသာတွေများလို့ကိလေသာများလေစိတ်ဓာတ်တွေစိတ်ဓာတ်ပါဝါတွေကြလေပဲကိလေသာနည်းလေကိလေသာကျဲလေကိလေသာလုံးဝမရှိတော့လေမိုင်းပေါ့စိတ်ဓာတ်ပါဝါပေါ့စိတ်ဓာတ်စွမ်းအင်နေမြင့်လာတာပေါ့လုံးဝကိလေသာမရှိတော့ဘူးဆိုလို့ရှိရင်စိတ်ကဖူးပေါ့အပြည့်အဝဖြစ်သွားတယ်အဲ့တော့ဘုရားရှင်ကိုယ်တော်မြတ်ကြီးဘုရားဖြစ်သွားတယ်ဆိုတာကိလေသာကိုဝါဒနာနဲ့တကွအကုန်လုံးပြောင်းလဲပြစ်လိုက်တယ်စိတ်ဓာတ်ကိုပြောင်းလဲပြစ်လိုက်တယ်အဲ့လိုစိတ်ဓာတ်ကြီးပြောင်းသွားတဲ့နေရာသည်ဒီနေရာဖြစ်ပါစိတ်ဓာတ်တွေပြောင်းသွားတဲ့နေရာဒီနေရာ
Buddha changed friends the waddling what tooth and waddling what because of the mind. By changing his mind, Buddha attained enlightenment. So the power of the mind decreased because of defilement. So if we remove the defilement, the power of the mind increase. So we need to trying to remove the defilement of kilesa to increase the power of our mind by practicing, by following the Buddha's way.
ဒါမှကြောင့်ဘုရားရှင်ကိုရမြတ်ကဒီလောကသားအလုံးကိုကဲ့တင်ဖို့အတွက်ကိလေသာတွေနည်းသွားကျဲသွားကုန်ခန်းမှုလိုအပ်တယ်အဲ့တော့အဲ့ကိလေသာတွေကသူ့အလိုလိုမနှဲသွားဘူးမကျဲသွားဘူးမကုန်သွားဘူးအဲ့တော့ကိလေသာကိုနိုင်တာကဓမ္မကနိုင်တာအဲ့တော့ဘုရားရှင်ကိုရောမြတ်ကြီးကသူကိုယ်တိုင်ဓမ္မကိုရှင်းသုံးတယ်ဘုရားရှင်ဖြစ်ဖြစ်ဓမ္မကိုတိဆောက်ပြီးတော့ဘုရားရှင်ကိုရောမြတ်ကြီးကသူ့ဘဝကိုဗုဒ္ဓအဖြစ်မြင့်တင်လိုက်တယ်အဲ့လိုမြင့်တင်ပြီးတော့ဒီလောကကြီးထဲမှာတရားဝါတွေဆင်းရဲဒုက္ခရောက်နေကြတယ်အားလုံးဆင်းရဲနေကြတယ်ပူလောင်နေကြတယ်အားလုံးစောက်တည်ရမရကြဘူးဘာကြောင့်လဲကိလေသာတွေထူပြောနေလို့ဘာကြောင့်ကိလေသာတွေထူပြောနေကြတာလဲဓမ္မမရှိလို့အဲ့တော့ဒီကိလေသာတွေကိုနိုင်တဲ့ဓမ္မပေါ့နော်ဓမ္မဘုရားရှင်ကိုယ်တော်မြတ်ကြီးကဓမ္မဖြင့်ကိလေသာကိုအကုန်ပယ်တတ်လိုက်တာဖြစ်တော့ဒီတရားဝါတွေအတွက်လိုနေတာကဓမ္မလိုနေတယ်ဒါမှမဟုတ်ကြောင့်ဘုရားရှင်ကဓမ္မကိုဟောကြားပါတယ်အဲ့တော့ဓမ္မတွေကိုဟောကြားတဲ့အခါဒီတရားဝါတွေအားလုံးအတွက်ကြဲပြန့်ရောက်ရှိဖို့အတွက်နံပါတ်1ဓမ္မကိုကျင့်သုံးတဲ့ပုဂ္ဂိုလ်နဲ့ဓမ္မကိုဖြန့်ဝေပေးမဲ့အဖွဲ့အစည်းတစ်ခုလိုလာပါတယ်နော်အဲ့ဒါကတော့ဘုရားရှင်ရဲ့သားတော်တန်ခါဆိုတာဖြစ်ပေါ်လာပါတယ်ဒါမှမဟုတ်ကြောင့်ဗုဒ္ဓရဲ့ဒီတရားဝါတွေကုညီဆောင်ရှောက်ရေးမှာအရေးကြီးဆုံးဖြစ်တဲ့ယရဏ3ပါးဗုဒ္ဓဓမ္မစံဃဗုဒ္ဓသည်ဓမ္မကိုဖော်ထုတ်ပေးလိုက်တယ်ဓမ္မတွေကိုအားလုံးသိအောင်ပြောပေးလိုက်တယ်အဲ့ပြောပေးလိုက်တဲ့ဓမ္မတွေကိုလက်ဆင့်ကသက်ဆောင်ပြီးတော့တရားဝါတွေကိုရှေ့ကနေလက်တွေ့ကြကျင့်သုံးပြသနိုင်ဖို့အတွက်တန်ခါကိုတန်ခါကရုတန်ခါအဖွဲ့အစည်းကြီးကိုဘုရားရှင်ကခွင့်ပြုခဲ့တာဖြစ်ပါတယ်တဏှိတီထောင်ခဲ့တာဖြစ်ပါတယ်အဲ့တော့ဗုဒ္ဓတည်လည်းပဲဓမ္မအတွက်ဖြစ်ပါတယ်တန်ခါတည်လည်းပဲဓမ္မအတွက်ဖြစ်ပါတယ်ဓမ္မကတော့အားလုံးအတွက်ဖြစ်ပါတယ်ဖရာအတွက်ရောတန်ခါအတွက်ရောတရားဝါတွေအတွက် အားလုံးသောတရားတွေအတွက်ကဓမ္မဖြစ်ပါတယ်ဒါမို့ကြောင့်ဒီလောကကြီးထဲမှာအလိုအဆုံးကဘာလဲဆိုလို့ရှိရင်ဓမ္မဖြစ်ပါတယ်လို့
So Buddha think because of the defilement, people are suffering. So in order to remove or in order to destroy the defilement, so we need something, which is the Dhamma. So because of the Dhamma, we can destroy and remove the defilement or kilesa together with pastime. So in order to distribute those Dhamma, that we need Buddha, Dhamma, and Sangha. So Buddha find the Dhamma to help or to remove all kinds of suffering or the being. Then he taught the Dhamma. Then in order to separate the Dhamma, that we need this Sangha. So Sangha can separate and can distribute the Dhamma all over the world in order to practice or in order to help the people who are suffering all kinds of dukkha. That's why Buddha is for Dhamma and Sangha is also Dhamma, but Dhamma is for all. So if we practice the Dhamma, then we can remove and then we can destroy all kinds of suffering by following the way of the Buddha's Dhamma.
အဲ့တော့အခုဗုဒ္ဓဓမ္မစံဃအဲ့သုံးမျိုးလုံးရဲ့ရည်ရွယ်ချက်သည်ဒီလောကကြီးချမ်းသာဖို့အတွက်ဖြစ်တယ်ဒီလောကကြီးချမ်းသာဖို့အတွက်ဓမ္မကဓမ္မောဟဝေရခတိဓမ္မစာရဓမ္မကိုကျင့်သုံးတဲ့ပုဂ္ဂိုလ်ကိုဓမ္မကစောင့်ရှောက်သွားမှာဖြစ်ပါတယ်အဲ့တော့ဓမ္မကိုကျင့်သုံးနိုင်ဖို့ရန်အတွက်ဘုရားရှင်ကထားခဲ့တဲ့တန်ဃာတွေကအမတန်ရေးကြည့်ပါတယ်တန်ဃာကဆောင်ရွက်ရမယ်တာဝန်ကနံပါတ်1ဓမ္မကိုကျင့်သုံးလိုက်နာရေးနံပါတ်2ဓမ္မတွေကိုကျင့်သုံးလိုက်နာနိုင်အောင်ဖြန့်ဖြူးရေးပေါ့ဒီနှစ်ခုကဒါစံဃာတွေရဲ့တာဝန်တွေပေါ့အဲ့လိုစံဃာဘုရားရှင်ရဲ့ကိုယ်စားဘုရားရှင်ရဲ့သားစံဃာတွေကတန်ဃာတွေကဓမ္မကိုလိုက်နာကျင့်သုံးပြမယ်လိုက်နာကျင့်သုံးနိုင်အောင်ဖြန့်ဝေကြမယ်ဆိုရင်တရားတွေကဓမ္မအသိဓမ္မအကျင့်တွေရသွားမယ်အဲ့လိုဓမ္မအသိဓမ္မအကျင့်တွေရသွားတဲ့တပြိုင်နက်ဓမ္မကသူ့ကိစ္စသူဆောင်ရွက်သွားမှာဖြစ်ပါတယ်ဘယ်လိုဆောင်ရွက်သွားမှာတော့တရားတွေတဏ္ဍာမှာဘဝတန္တရာအဆက်ကအနမတက်ကတန္တရာဆက်ဆက်ကကပ်ပါလာတဲ့ပေါ့နော်အမြင့်မပြတ်အနိုင်ယူခဲ့တဲ့ကိလေသာတွေကိုဓမ္မစွမ်းအားကနံပါတ်1ကျဲသွားအောင်အဖြစ်နည်းသွားအောင်နံပါတ်2နည်းသွားအောင်ကျဲသွားအောင်ပါသွားအောင်နောက်ဆုံးကုန်ခန်းသွားအောင်လုပ်မှာဖြစ်ပါတယ်ဒါဓမ္မကဆောင်ရွက်မှာအဲ့လိုဓမ္မကဆောင်ရွက်နိုင်လောက်တဲ့ဒီတရားတွေကကျင့်သုံးလိုက်နာကြမယ်ဆိုရင်အလုံးသောတရားတွေအလုံးငြိမ်းချမ်းသွားကြမှာဖြစ်ပါတယ်အလုံးဖရိပေါ်လွတ်မြောက်သွားကြမှာဖြစ်ပါတယ်နော်လွတ်မြောက်သွားမယ်နောက်ဆုံးဝိမု ക്തി ဆိုတဲ့နိဗ္ဗာန်သို့ရောက်ရှိကြမှာဖြစ်ပါတယ်
So in order to suppress or in order to teach the Dhamma all over the world, we need the Sangha. The Sanghas first need to practice and need to follow the Dhamma, then the Sangha can share the Dhamma to other. So because the Dhamma can help to remove the suffering. So that's why we need the Sangha to suppress and to teach the Dhamma in order to help the people who suffer all kinds of suffering. So Dhamma will help everything in order to make the whole world have peace and better.
ဒီဓမ္မနဲ့ကိလေသာဆိုတာကချင်းခွင်လိုပဲဓမ္မတွေများလာပြီဆိုရင်ကိလေသာတွေကနည်းသွားမှာကိလေသာတွေများလာပြီဆိုရင်ဓမ္မတွေကနည်းသွားမှာဖြစ်ပါတယ်ဒီကမ္ဘာလောကဓာတ်ကြီးထဲမှာကိလေသာတွေပေါ့လွှမ်းမိုးနေမယ်ကိလေသာတွေလွှမ်းမိုးနေသမျှကလပ်ပတ်လုံးဒီတရားဝါတွေကငြိမ်းချမ်းမှုအေးမြမှုချမ်းသာမှုဆိုတာကမရှိနိုင်ဘူးအဲ့တော့ဓမ္မကကိလေသာကိုအနိုင်ယူလိုက်တဲ့အခါကိလေသာကခေါင်းမထောင်နိုင်တော့ကိလေသာနဲ့သွားတဲ့ဓမ္မအင်အားစွမ်းအားကများအဲ့လိုဓမ္မတွေများလာပြီဆိုရင်ဒီတရားဝါတူတယောက်ချင်းစီရောဒီတရားဝါတွေနေတဲ့အတိုက်ဝင်းကြီးရောဒီကဘာကြီးရောအားလုံးကငြိမ်းချမ်းရကြမှာဖြစ်ပါတယ်ဒါမှမဟုတ်ကြောင့်ဒီလောကကြီးငြိမ်းချမ်းမှုတည်ငြိမ်မှုအေးချမ်းမှုနဲ့တရားဝါတွေအေးချမ်းမှုချမ်းသာဖို့ဆိုလို့ရှိရင်အရေးကြီးဆုံးကဓမ္မကျင့်သုံးရေးပဲဖြစ်ပါတယ်
So, the more we have the development, the more we suffer. So the more we have development, the more we suffer more and more. So that's why in order to remove the suffering or in order to make the whole world have peace and better, we need to follow the Dhamma. The more Dhamma spreads, the happier the whole world. That's why we have to share the Dhamma all over the world.
အဲ့တော့ဒီနေ့မနေ့ဖြန်ကအတွက်ပေါ့ဒီအဲ့ဓမ္မဘုရားရှင်ကိုရောမြတ်ကြီးကတရားဝါအလုံးတွေဟောကြားခဲ့တဲ့ဓမ္မတွေကအရေးကြီးဆုံးဖြစ်တဲ့စိတ်နဲ့ပတ်သက်၍မနောပုပ္ပင်ကမဓမ္မမနောသစ္ထာမနောမယမနတစေပတန်နေနဘာတတိဝါကရောတိဝါတတောနံဒုက္ခမနွေတိသာယာဝအနုပါယိနိမနောပုပ္ပင်ကမဓမ္မာမနောသစ္ထာမနောမယမနတစေပဒုဋ္ဌေနဘာတတိဝါကရောတိဝါတတောနံဒုက္ခမနွေတိစက္ကံဝဝါတော်ပဒံတဲ့ဒါဘုရားရှင်ရဲ့ပါဠိတော်ဆိုလိုရင်းကတော့ဒီဘုန်းကြီးတို့တရားဝါတွေပေါ့တရားဝါတွေမှာတိဆောက်ထားတဲ့အစုပေါ့အစုခန္ဓာလို့ခေါ်တဲ့အစု၅မျိုးသောအချင်းရာဖြင့်စုထားတယ်ရူပခန္ဓာဝေဒနာခန္ဓာသင်ညက်ခန္ဓာသင်္ခါရခန္ဓာဝိညာဉ်နဲ့ခန္ဓာဒါခန္ဓာဒေသနာဒီခန္ဓာ၅ပါးစုထားတာအဲ့ခန္ဓာ၅ပါးထဲမှာဝိညာဉ်နဲ့ခန္ဓာဆိုတဲ့စိတ်ကရှေ့သွားဖြစ်ပါတယ်မနောသစ္ထာဒီဝိညာဉ်နဲ့ခန္ဓာဆိုတဲ့စိတ်ကအကြီးမြတ်ဆုံးဖြစ်ပါတယ်မနောမယအရာအလုံးကစိတ်ကြောင့်ပြီးနေရတယ်စိတ်ရဲ့ပုံရိပ်တွေပဲတဲ့အခုယင်းပုဂ္ဂိုလ်ကမြင့်မြတ်နေတယ်မြင့်မြတ်တာကလည်းစိတ်ရဲ့ပုံရိပ်ပဲယင်းပုဂ္ဂိုလ်ကယုံမာနေတယ်အောက်တန်းကြနေတယ်ဒါကလည်းသူ့ရဲ့စိတ်ရဲ့ပုံရိပ်ပဲအခုမြင်တွေ့နေရတဲ့အရာအဝတ္ထုအကုန်လုံးကစိတ်ရဲ့ပုံရိပ်တွေဖြစ်ပါတယ်အလုံးကစိတ်ကြောင့်ပြီးနေတာဖြစ်ပါတယ်ဒါမှမဟုတ်ယင်းစိတ်ကိုပတ္တန်နေနပေါ့စိတ်လေးကြည်လင်တန်ရှင်းတဲ့စိတ်ဖြင့်ကာယကံမှာဖြစ်စေဝစီကံမှာဖြစ်စေမနောကံမှာဖြစ်စေအဲ့လိုစိတ်ကောင်းနှလုံးကောင်းလေးဖြင့်ပြုကြပြောကြတွေးကြမယ်ဆိုရင်ယင်းပုဂ္ဂိုလ်သည်ချမ်းသာနော်ဘဝချမ်းသာကိုလည်းရနိုင်တယ်ဘဝဝိမု ക്തി နိဗ္ဗာန်ချမ်းသာကိုလည်းရနိုင်တယ်တဲ့အကယ်၍တဲ့ယင်းပုဂ္ဂိုလ်ရဲ့တဏ္ဍမှာတဲ့စိတ်ပေါ့ပျက်စီးနေတဲ့စိတ်ဒါဗုဒ္ဓပျက်စီးနေတယ်ဘာကြောင့်ပျက်စီးတာလဲကိလေသာတွေကြောင့်ပျက်စီးတာ ကိလေသာ10မျိုးသောအချင်းရာတစ်မျိုးမျိုးဖြစ်လာရင်စိတ်တွေပြတ်သွားတာပါပဲမူရင်းစိတ်မရှိတော့အဲ့ပျက်စီးနေသောစိတ်ဖြင့်ပြောကြမယ်ပြုကြမယ်တွေးကြမယ်ဆိုရင်တဲ့တရားဝါတွေဆင်းရဲဒုက္ခရောက်ပါလိမ့်မယ်တဲ့
Among many different kinds of Dhamma, the mind is very important. So there are 5 aggregate Rupa Khanda, Udana Khanda, etc. So among these, Vijnana Khandas, the mind or the aggregates of the mind or consciousness are very important. So Buddha mentioned Mano, Bhogamadama, Manosita, Manomaya, etc. So it means if someone acts with the bad mind, the dukkhas follow him or her. If someone with the good mind and the sukha or happiness follow him or her, that's why if we control the mind and then the happiness follow us wherever we are. So the mind is very important to control and to practice and to taint for all of us.
အဲ့တော့ဒီဒေသနာမှာဘုရားရှင်ကစိတ်ကအမတန်အရေးကြီးတယ်အဲ့တော့ပတ္တနေနစိတ်ဒေနကြည်လင်တန်ရှင်းသောစိတ်ဖြင့်လို့ပြောတယ်အဲ့တော့ယဉ်ကြည်လင်တန်ရှင်းသောစိတ်ဖြစ်အောင်ဘယ်လိုလုပ်ကြမလဲစိတ်ကိုဘယ်လိုလုပ်ကြမလဲဒီနေရာမှာလာမှာပေါ့အဲ့တော့စိတ်ကိုဘယ်လိုလုပ်မှကြည်လင်တန်ရှင်းတယ်ဘယ်လိုစိတ်ကိုထားရင်စိတ်တွေကညင်နှမ်းသွားတယ်အဲ့ဒါကိုဒီနေ့မနေ့ဖြန်ကကြဆက်မှာပေါ့နော်အဲ့တော့ဒီကြည်လင်တန်ရှင်းတယ်ဆိုတာစိတ်ကသူ့လိုကြည်လင်မတန်ရှင်းမနေဘူးပေါ့ဟုတ်တယ်အဲ့တော့ဒီစိတ်ကြည်လင်တန်ရှင်းဖို့အတွက်စိတ်လေးကိုလေ့ကျင့်ပေးရမယ်ဟုတ်တယ်အဲ့တော့စိတ်လေးကိုလေ့ကျင့်ပေးဖို့အတွက်နံပါတ်1စိတ်ရဲ့သဘာဝကိုနားလည်ရမယ်အဲ့ရဲ့စိတ်ရဲ့သဘာဝကဘယ်လိုရှိတာတုံးဆိုတော့စိတ်ရဲ့သဘာဝပေါ့စိတ်ရဲ့သဘောတရားเนาะဒီမနဆိုတဲ့စိတ်ရဲ့သဘောလားလေးကအဋ္ဌတဏံမြင်လည်းမမြင်ရဘူးတဲ့မြင်လည်းမမြင်ရမျက်လုံးနဲ့မြင်လို့မရဘူးတဲ့ဘုရားရှင်ကဖန္ဒနံတဲ့တုံလှုပ်နေတယ်တဲ့တုံလှုပ်နေတယ်တဏှာထဲမှာ तू မတည်ဘူးရူပါယုံမြင်ရင်လည်းရူပါယုံနောက်လိုက်သွားတယ်အတန်လေးကြားရင်လည်းအတန်နောက်လိုက်သွားအာယုံနေပေါ်မှာ तू ကလျှက်ပေါ်လော်လီနေတယ်တဲ့နော်ယတ္ထကမ္မနိပါတိနံအကြောင်းအကျိုးအကောင်းဆုံးကို तू မသိဘူးတဲ့ तू မသိဘူး तू ကြကျင်တဲ့နေရာ तू သွားကျင်တဲ့နေရာသွားနေတယ်တဲ့အဲ့ဒါစိတ်ရဲ့သဘောတရားအနေချင်းလေးပြောတာပါနော်
So the mind is very difficult to see. So we cannot see the nature of the mind. So the mind always shaking. The mind falling down wherever it liked. So the mind usually follow the object wherever it liked, it wishes. So this mind is very important. So how to control and how to tame the mind. So Hitadara Sero would like to mention for tomorrow, not for today.
အဲ့တော့ဘုရားရှင်ကဒီစိတ်လေးကြည်လင်တန်ရှင်းဖို့အတွက်ဘယ်လိုမှာခဲ့တယ်လဲစိတ်တံဓမေထမေတာဝီစိတ်တံဒန္တံဒုက္ခဝံမေတာဝီပညာရှိသူတော်ကောင်းသည်တနည်းပညာရှိသူတော်ကောင်းဖြစ်လို့တဲ့ပုဂ္ဂိုလ်သည်တနည်းချမ်းသာဒုက္ခကိုလိုလားတောင်းတနေတဲ့ပုဂ္ဂိုလ်သည်စိတ်တံမိမိတို့ရဲ့စိတ်ကိုဓမေထဆုံးမရမယ်ဓမေထဆုံးမရမယ်ပြစ်မထားရအောင်ပြစ်မထားရအောင်စိတ်ကိုသူ့လိုလွတ်မထားရဘူးပေါ့နော်စိတ်တံဓမေထစိတ်ကိုဆုံးမပေးရမယ်စိတ်တံဒန္တံဒုက္ခဝဟံတဲ့ဒန္တံဆုံးမ၍ယဉ်ကျေးနေသောစိတ်လေးကယဉ်ကျေးအောင်ဆုံးမထားတဲ့စိတ်လေးကဒုက္ခဝဟံတဲ့တရားဝါတို့လိုချင်တဲ့ငြိမ်းချမ်းခြင်းအေးမြခြင်း အနောင်ဖွဲ့မှာလွတ်မြောက်ခြင်းလောကီလောကုတ္တရာချမ်းသာမှန်သမျှကိုဒီစိတ်ကယဉ်ကျေးနေတဲ့စိတ်ကကြည်လင်တန်ရှင်းနေတဲ့စိတ်ကဆောင်ရွက်ပေးနိုင်တယ်တဲ့ဘုရားရှင်က
Buddha mentioned Satan Raketa Miravi Dandan Satan Sukhawant. It means the wise man tamed his mind. Then the trained mind and clean mind bring different kinds of happiness, different kinds of wealth. So that's why we trying to control and trying to train our mind to be polite and to be tame. In order to attain or gain happiness, we need to train our mind. That the trained mind bring happiness to all of us.
အဲ့တော့စိတ်လေးတွေကိုစိတ်ကိုဘယ်လိုဆုံးမမလဲဘိတ်ကိုစိတ်ကိုဘယ်လိုစောင့်ရှောက်မလဲစိတ်လေးကိုဆုံးမတာဘာနဲ့ဆုံးမမှာလဲဘယ်လိုဆုံးမမှာလဲအဲ့ဓာတွေကိုတော့မနေ့ဖြန်ကကြာဘုန်းကြီးတို့ဒီစိတ်လေးကိုဆုံးမတဲ့တတိပဋ္ဌာန်တရားပေါ့နော်အဲ့တတိပဋ္ဌာန်တရားနဲ့ဒီဥပမာဥပမေယနဲ့ဘုံဘုံတို့ဒီစိတ်ကိုပေါ့နော်ပထမဆုံးသီလကျင့်စဉ်ဖြင့်စိတ်ကိုဆုံးမပေးရမယ်နံပါတ်2တမာတိကျင့်စဉ်ဖြင့်စိတ်ကိုဆုံးမပေးရမယ်နံပါတ်3ပညာကျင့်စဉ်ဖြင့်ဒီစိတ်လေးကိုဆုံးမပေးရမယ်အဲ့လိုဆုံးမပုံဆုံးမနည်းလေးတွေကိုတော့မနေ့ဖြန်ကကြာဖုံဖုံမျှဝေပေးပါမယ်နော်
Tomorrow, Sassyaro would like to mention how to train and how to control the mind. So, the weight, how to control the mind, mentioned Mahasatipatthana Sodat. That's why Sassyaro will share the way how to control, how to train the mind for tomorrow night. Thank you very much for today. Sadhu. ပြီးမလားပြီးရင်တဝိတ္တိရောဆိုလိုက်ပြီးတော့ထောက်လိုက်ဆရာတော်ပြောလိုက် Okay, so I would like to mention for the Dhamma for tonight. So my Dhamma listeners in essence, Mr. Richard, no? So how to, my Dhamma topic, how to overcome the disaster, how to overcome the disaster. So today, you know, there are many different kinds of disasters, like pandemic, COVID-19, and then famine all over the world. The people are very hungry, very thirsty for the food. And then all over the world, and then, you know, every country, most of the countries fighting inside the country, but nobody know. So fighting. So those three kinds of disasters. Why those disasters happened in the world today? So I would like to mention the Buddha's teaching. Why those disasters happening in the world. Understand? So that's why my Dhamma topic is how to overcome the disaster. So before I would like to mention these things, now today we are chanting Pitako Brisa and Milinda Pinyas in Niti Palit. The three topic Milinda Pinya, Niti Pali in Pitako Brisat. So Pitako Brisas in Niti Palit, actually the first council and second council, third councils are not included in those councils. First and second, third and fourth. But during the time of the fifth council, in sixth council, those Pitako Brisa Palit in native Pali are included. But Spec concerts usually celebrated in Burma. So buying the native Palis in Pitiko Brisa Pali had been put into the original Pali in the Pig Council by the head of the Burmese Mahathira. So, but the name of the authors are, the name of the Tipitaka Brisa Palis in native Pali. Name is the same, but I think a different author, even though the name are the same. So the name is Mahakis Sayanat. Name of the writer, Pitiko Brisa Pali, Mahakis Sayanathirat. Name of the native Palis, the writers in the Mahakis Sayana. But I'm searching for the information for those writer. So one of the Mahakis Sayanat appeared in 2nd century. After 2nd century, after Buddha passed away. Also the writer was Pitiko Brisa Palis appear maybe 150 years BCE. So those writers write, but according to the commentaries, Savaka was an Buddha Basitans. So even though the disciple of the Buddhas write those 2 books, so we believe, so like a Buddha's teaching. So that's why I would like to mention for those 2 Pali, Niti Pali and Pitiko Brisa Pali, who write which year those scriptures appear. So this is it. Just introduce for chanting today another 43. But especially I would like to mention how to overcome the great disaster today, which the whole world faced. How to overcome, how to avoid those great disasters. In Sakawati Sodas, Buddha mentioned, Lobo Saraya Bazaya Dobe Kandra Kapo Hodi. It means because of greed, because of love, we have to face famine disaster. It means we were dying because of starvation. So we were dying because of starvation all over the world. So if the people have more greed or people are greedy too much, and then Dobe Gandrakaba or famine or starvation will appear in this world, Buddha mentioned. And then Satandrakaba, the great disaster or the weapon, many different kinds of weapons. Fighting Ukraine and Russia, very unbelievable weapons. So those weapons are because of Dosat. The disaster or weapons will appear in this world. So because of Dosat, because of anger or hatred. So the whole world hatred each other, and the more mysterious weapons will come more and more. Nobody can prevent those weapons. Even though we have power, we cannot prevent. So because of dosa, Satandra Gaba will appear or will happen in this world. And then the last one, Rogandra Gaba, like a COVID-19 pandemic diseases, spread or appear all over the world. Pandemic disease because of mohat or because of ignorance. Because of ignorance, pandemic appear in this world. So the more we have ignorant, the more diseases we receive in the future too. So those 3 kappa or disaster, how to overcome for us, Buddha mentioned. So, because of lava, the famine or starvation disaster arise. So how to remove the lava? And then Buddha said, we mention our loving kindness by offering, like today, another body tree, we celebrated International Tipitaka Chanting 7 in time. So many Vietnamese people usually offer. So by offering, we can reduce our lovat. By offering, by giving something away, then we can reduce the lovat. Now, if we reduce the lovat, and then we let's face the famine disaster. It's about a mention. And then how to face the weapons disaster. So we can practice loving kindness. We send metta to all the beings, and then we can remove the dosat. If we remove dosat, then we can avoid the different kinds of weapons. The Buddha mentioned we need to practice, or especially we follow the silat. So, adore so sila he did. Adore so. If we have a loving kindness, we can follow the sila. If we follow the sila, we cannot commit killing, stealing, sexual misconduct, in telling lies, in drinking, in skating. So adosa is very important to practice sila. If we practice sila, we can avoid those different kinds of weapons. It means satandra kapat. And then the last one is rogandra kapat. So rogandra kapat is we have to face different kinds of diseases like a COVID-19 pandemic. So Mr. Nelson, how to avoid by using mask? Not enough. Not enough. Train the mind so you can avoid, Mr. Richard. So if you use the mask, maybe not today WHO said, if we stay social distance for 6 feet from each other, we can avoid the COVID-19. I think in the future, maybe how many years later, the more dangerous disease will appear. Because the whole world, very greedy, very angry, very deluded. So that's why I believe maybe many years later, not we are there at the time. So many years later, more dangerous diseases, more than dangerous COVID-19. Even though we stay separate, not enough. Maybe even though you stay far from 100 miles, you cannot be free from those diseases. So because of lova, dosa, mohat. So Buddha mentioned how to remove the mohat. And the Buddha said we have to follow, that we have to read the Dhamma book, like today chanting here. So the more we chant, the more we remove our delusion. So we know the way, how to follow, how to practice. Then we can remove the mohat. The more we remove the mohat, the more we receive happiness, or maybe pinya, or the opposite of mohat. It means can't pinya or wisdom are mohat. Amoha is bhavana hedut. If we have amoha or wisdom, we can. We were trying to practice the way how to remove the mohat. So now today we chant in another body treat, and then that is it, bhavana. So bhavanas can destroy all kinds of ignorance. So if we can destroy ignorance, and then wisdom will come. And then we know the way how to remove, how to avoid the pandemic like a COVID-19. So that's why, finally, I would like to conclude. No, maybe you might be tired. So, by practicing or by reading the Dhamma book, we can remove moha. That if we remove moha, automatically, amoha, the opposite of moha will come, opinion will come. And then by practicing silat, we can remove the dosat. If we remove rasa, we can avoid many different kinds of weapons. Even though you use something which can prevent the gun, not enough. So if you wear the morality or clothes, enough, no? You can prevent any different kinds of weapons. Biological weapons, the very mistreated. So if you practice the silat, you can prevent those different kinds of weapons. So by removing those anger, so we can avoid the disaster of different kinds of weapons. And then we practice dana. We practice danas. We give in the dana, and then we can avoid famine or starvation or disaster. That's why I would like to encourage all of you. Please try to practice dana and silas and bhavana. This is the very foundation of the Buddha's teaching. Dana means you can give any dog, it's also dana. No? Whatever you have, you can share. The dana and Dhamma dana, Amisa dana, two kinds of dana. Is if I explain, continue to explain, maybe you will sleep here whole night. So that's why, in order to remove or in order to avoid three kinds of disaster, please practice and follow dana and sila bhavana. Dana can destroy lovat. Sila can destroy dosat. Bhavana can destroy mohat. By destroying those lova, dosa, moha, may you avoid three great disasters: famine or starvation, or different kinds of weapons, or different kinds of diseases like COVID-19. So I want all of you be preparing those different kinds of disaster for the rest of your lives. Thank you very much for today. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. I don't think nobody has question.
Thank you so much, Theodore. Thank you very much, Hitadara Theodore. And thank you so much, Ujjavana. Beautiful advice, really beautiful. We always have some questions. So I would like to ask first the Bhantes present and any nuns present if they'd like to ask questions. And if not, then we will ask the lay people. So first, do any of you have questions for either of our speakers? No, wait, you first. No, after you, Bhante. No, you first. No one has? Are there any lay people? I have a question, but I'm sure many other lay. Are there? There's a lady at the back. So.
Bandami Banteji and Bandami to Sangha. I have a question. What is the reason behind this that Bodhi tree have 3 times lesser leaves than other people tree of its similar age in here or of other places? Is Bodhi tree compelled among our wishes that it fall its leaves easily if we wish for it. I mean, everybody who come here wish that if I get a leaf from Bodhi tree and no one take any leaves from other trees. So I see that Bodhi tree have 3 times lesser leaves. Is Bodhi tree compelled among our wishes? It fall its leaves easily if we wish for it. I want conclusion. So please.
And then, because we were like this leak, very secret body treat. You know, everybody believes this is a Western treat. It's a knowledge comes from this tree. That's why they like those trees. That's why everybody wants this lead whenever it's poured out. Huh? So the other lead, so for us, maybe in the summer, okay, for shade, not for Western. So nobody like, in your hometown also, you have a many lead. This lead is a very secret one. That's why everybody wants this lead. That's all. Thank you. Uh, how can I say this? Maybe I'm not Buddha. That's why I cannot explain everything. Whatever you want. Yeah. So this tree is a special tree, no? You know. That's why everybody think if we have this lead, we are lucky. That we have a good luck. So many things good come to us. That's why they want this one. Okay? Thank you.
This is a very old tree, you know, this one. And so not so many leaves now. They have very special people coming from Dehradun to look after this tree. And this tree has to grow against the temple, so hard for the tree. This is why underneath here there's earth. And when we are finished, they take away. And so the tree has a chance. So this is the other reason. So Bhante, I have a question for you.
Okay.
You gave a beautiful teaching. So if we give dana, we can stop famine. If we practice shila, we can stop war. And if we practice bhavana, we can stop pandemic. How does our shila affect COVID-19, for example? Now, in the Tibetan tradition, they believe there are spirits like gnats, like gnat in Myanmar, that get upset and they cause disease. So they do prayers to the spirits so they will calm down and that fixes pandemic. Do you have a similar belief, or do you think it's just our shila somehow affects pandemic and our bhavana affects pandemic and our shila affects war and our dana affects famine? How do you think it works?
Maybe it's this psychological issue. So maybe in some hand it's connected each other. Silas in separate, maybe separate or maybe silas. Maybe according to me, so sila is more important than separate. So sila have or stop any kinds of weapon. If really strong silat, must have strong silat.
Because in the tradition, when there was a pandemic in Vaishali, the Buddha gave Mangala Sutta. Mangala Sutta, that's the sutta for pandemic, right?
Hirana Sutta.
Uh-huh.
Radhana Sutta.
Ratna, yeah, Ratna Mangala, yeah. So was that a Bhavana Sutta? How is that explained? Why did that work? What was happening to mean that the pandemic in Vaishali stopped when Ananda chanted that sutta around Vaishali? How did that happen?
How he stopped.
Yeah, how did it work?
So because the monk who chant or who recite the Radhana Sutta have the strong silas because Arahant. So Arahant, the very strong power or sila. So that sila can stop those pandemic.
Huh.
At the present times, maybe the sanghas strong sila, or maybe we can stop. Maybe we are weak morally right now. That's why we cannot stop, I think.
Yeah. Thank you, Bante. Very beautiful advice. So are there any more questions? Yeah. Please.
Vandami Bhante. I have a question. You told that the solution is to train our mind. So, how do we train our mind? Because it's very difficult. The mind is either very involved, whatever happened in the past, or it's thinking about the future. So, how do we train our mind and try to be in the present moment? Because it's very difficult.
Okay. How to control or how to train the mind. If you would like to know, please come tomorrow. Sarah would like to mention, he already said that. So today, my lecture said not how to train the mind. So how to, so stop, how to stop lova, dosa, moha. So please come tomorrow for Sarah teaching. So he will mention in detail how to control, how to train the mind, to be polite, to be stable. Please, sister, come tomorrow here, around 7.
I have another question.
Okay.
You said to practice dana. So I always had this confusion, we do everything with out of compassion. But at times I feel that people, while giving dana or doing Dhamma work, they have this, like they want to be free from their suffering. Does it consider being greedy? I want to be free from suffering, that's why I am doing Dhamma work. So I'm very confused about it.
Maybe first that we need to give the danas, and then that danas can remove sufferings very a little, not completely. So the more you practice the Dhamma work,
Okay, after the CCR or Adonai.
the more you practice the dana, that the more you remove the strength, the suffering a little. Maybe slowly, maybe you become a mature for practicing dana, and then finally you can completely remove the suffering, mental suffering, physical suffering, the same. So now you are first step. Maybe you need to practice more and more. Then slowly you can remove all suffering. That's all, Sister.
Thank you.
Okay.
Many questions? I mean, Shodawala.
Bondami Bhante,
Wanami Mani.
take my regard and thanks for your wonderful advice and preachings for today's actually. So actually I want to get into very basic questions. So this is very simple. I often get confused with a single word that is called mind. So you have given so many preachings, so many learning on the mind today. So I want to know what is mind. So is it in a layman term? Is it a brain? Is called mind?
Mind, so we cannot see, as Sarah mentioned just earlier in his teaching. My Buddha also said, Dr. Son, very difficult to see the mind. But not brain is not mind. Mind and brains are very different. So mind is very pure. It is characteristic is very pure. So like water. For example, water, if you put into the water or red color or brown color, that the water become a brown or become a red. In the same way, if we put something bad like a loba, dosa, mohas, and our mind become a dirty. So, but good mind or bad minds, it depends on maybe your behavior, we can decide. Or this person has a good mind, this person has a bad mind.
but we cannot see that mind. So because of the behavior, we might know the nature of the mind very little. But if you would like to know in details, please practice to become an arahant. After becoming an arahant, you might know what is the mind or what is the nature of the mind. Please, no, Vani. Thank you, Vani.
Okay.
So
Thank
please
you,
come
Bhante.
tomorrow in detail. Sarah mentioned.
Okay. Thank you for your nice explanations. Okay. I'll join tomorrow.
Okay, okay, Vani. Thank you, Vani.
What about you? No? Yeah, yeah.
Yes, Your Holiness. I am from Bhutan. My name is Nathan. Sir, I had a very difficult to control my angriness. Of course, I'm from 5 years. I am a Gomchen, means a religious learner. So after 40, 50 years of my age, I try to control my body, my angriness. So today I am 75 years old. I am praying all the time in my monastery to my Lord Buddha, second Lord Buddha, Guru Rinpoche. But now, of course, slightly, I think some control is there, my angriness. But whenever somebody says harsh things, suddenly I get angry. Suddenly, if somebody says, what if he just, I don't know how this angriness comes in my mind. Suddenly I get angry. Wherever I pray, even Lord Buddha, daily I pray, please Lord Buddha, because of angriness, I am 100% believe on our Buddhism. Because of angriness, when we die, we'll go to hell. That's 100% I believe. So because of this, learning, book learning, meditation, I have done almost 1 billion Om Mani Padme Hum. Even then, I cannot control my angriness. So, Your Highness, if you can help me to give some lesson for this, thank you.
Very good question. According to my opinion, so I think you should live the people who has more metta, more loving kindness. Among those people, please live Bani. Now, Guruji Rinpoche. So if you live with the people around you who has more love or more loving kindness, more compassion, maybe your anger never come out. So if you live with the people who has much anger, your anger or your angriness always come out. So please stay and live with the people who has a lot of metta, a lot of loving kindness around you. Thank you very much, Guruji. Okay.
Any question?
Bhante, I have a question related to chitta, mind. So, what are the differences? The person who practice Sila Samadhi Panya and the person who do not practice Sila Samadhi Panya. So, what are the effect of Sila Samadhi Panya on the mind in the perspective of Abhidhamma?
If you practice, if someone practice Sila Samadhi Panya, he or she has more knowledge, and then that person know the way how to control the mind, how to train the mind to become more polite. So I think the person who practice Sila Samadhi Panya and who do not practice Sila Samadhi Panya is too much different. I think that the more we practice in the mind, the more our minds become a tame and polite and polite.
Yes, Bhante. So what are the effect which comes on the chitta? Like in Abhidhamma, there is a mention about chitta, consciousness. Sika, right?
Yeah.
So what are the effect comes when a person practice Sila Samadhi Panya? So
Uh,
what are the changes,
Well,
you know?
it's okay. So, you know, if you grow the poison mango tree, so you cannot eat the mango fruit at once. So you need to wait for the time and situation. So if you practice this, the mind to be polite, and then maybe you cannot get the result at once. Maybe or one life, or maybe 1 month or 2 months or 1 year, 2 years, etc. You need to wait for the time to receive the result for the mind. Understand?
Yes, Bhante.
So if you grow the mango tree, then that mango tree cannot produce the fruit at once. So maybe you need to wait for that 1 year, 2 years, then that mango tree can produce the fruit. So in the same way, so we need to practice the mind. Maybe you cannot get the results as soon as you practice the mind. You cannot get the result. Maybe 1 month or 1 year or 2 years or maybe 1 life, 2 life. So we need to wait for the time.
Okay.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you, Bhante.
Okay, sir.
Any more question? Okay, you also.
I have a question. What is Paya? Do we need to follow it, or it is a state what we get after practice of meditation and morality? I mean, uh, I have studied several books and I got that wisdom is a state where desires vanished and so many impurities get banished from our inside when we goes in a stage of wisdom. So what is panya? We need it to follow or anything else? Please.
Actually, there are two different kinds of penya. So one penya is a worldly penya, it means lokiya penya. And then the other penya is a lokotara penya, mundane and supramundane. There are two different kinds of penya. Now you have it read many different kinds of books to get some penya, but you already know it. This means lokiya penya, mundane, mundane, mundane. So lokotara penya is me. If you have a logotara penya, that penya can totally remove all different kinds of suffering. So right now, please, sister, maybe, and then you don't have logotara penya. So if you want to get the logotara penya, please try to practice a vipassana. Then you might understand what is the real penya or real wisdom. That's all my answer.
My father goes in a stage of samadhi, and if he sit in meditation, he takes 6 to 7 years in a one time. But he have a fear that what I am feeling now, is it will maintain tomorrow, it will maintain after 2 days, because he have no teachers. He meditate at his own. So please answer. He is not here, but it may be I can reply to him.
I think he should focus on one way, not different ways. Then his mind become stable or become calm down. So if he follow many different methods or many different teachers, his mind shaking, maybe he cannot decide what to do. So please follow the one way or focus on one method. This is a good for me, for my idea. That's all. Okay.
Are there any more questions? Well, Theodore, that was a beautiful talk, honestly. It really was. That was really lovely.
Thank you.
It shows you can give Dharma talk in 10 minutes. Very good. Don't need 1 hour. So I would like now to conclude by requesting Nelson to make an offering to Theodore, and then we will pay respect to him collectively. So we always make a small offering to our Dharma speakers. And this is with great thanks, Theodore, for your wonderful teaching.
Okay, thank you, no problem. You are welcome.
Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.
Okay, be happy, be worthy, be free from suffering for the rest of your life. Ha, Mr. Jonat, just I see you. Oh, thank you. Happy to see you.
Thank you, Sid.
Oh, thank you, Mr. Richard. Hopefully see you tomorrow.
Yeah, you'll see me. Actually, no, tomorrow night we have a big dinner.
Yeah.
We cannot come. But I will see you in the day.
Okay, okay. Okay, we recite by conclusion by Buddha Sasana Sira and dated to 3 times. In Pali what? Buddha Sasana Sira and dated to Buddha Sasana Sira and dated to Buddha Sasana Sira and dated to Sadhu, Sadhu, Sadhu. Thank you, Mani.